What's going on, YouTube? King Havo, back. All right, so I'm working on the running right now, trying to get the running to be more realistic. So I'm going to share with you guys a little bit about, what I'm doing here. I've done this a few times, and it's not simple because I want players to feel like they have weight. I want them to feel like they have momentum, right? So I'm going to show you guys what I'm working with here and kind of give you a rundown of what I'm dealing with, and maybe if you guys have any comments or feedback, you can let me know, because this is a pain. This is a pain to do, and I don't know how I'm going to end up making it, but I want the guys to feel less floaty, right? And what you're going to see is when they're running, I have momentum in, right? So if I let go right now, I just let go of the stick, he kind of takes a second to slow down, right? And you can look on the bottom, you see the D-pad on the bottom left of the screen. If you can't see that, then you need to get go on a computer or something, but look on the bottom left and you'll see that D-pad. So when I'm at like 1, that means I'm moving it. If I let go, I'm at 0, right? So I just let go at 0 and you'll see how much he can move. The next one over is the resistance. So I have resistance in the game, and think about this as like, gravity or the ground. If you're running on like clay or mud or sand, right, or in water, you're going to have more resistance. If you have wind blowing at you, like a hurricane wind, right, you're going to have resistance. So think about resistance like that, and that's the one next to there. It's called RES, and I can up it or lower it, right, with some values. And that's what I'm going to do in this video. I'm going to try to just play around with these values and see if I can get these working better. And then you have acceleration, which is the next one over, and you can see I'm moving it now. Acceleration is what it is, right? It's how fast the guy can take off from the line. But the thing is acceleration and resistance kind of go hand in hand, right? So if I lower my acceleration, you see on the bottom, if I lower it down to below the resistance, I won't move. You see that? So it's all based off of, these two elements, and then top speed, which is the third one, right? I can make my guy faster or slower, top speed, and, and I can basically make him move, lightning fast if I want to. I could just make him run a crazy 40 speed, and he's like Bo Jackson, right? But you can see even the momentum. If I let go of the stick, I let go of it right now, and he still continues to run. But you can also see it takes him a little bit of time to get to full speed, right? But the thing that's kind of weird about it, which I don't love, is the floatiness, right? You feel like right now you're flying around in a race car, right, with these settings. So if I bring him back to normal, it feels less floaty, right? But what I want to kind of do is make it feel more reactive and weighty without this like floatiness. Because right now, to me, he seems a little bit too floaty, right? Even now. So if I up the acceleration, I can do that. I can up the acceleration, and what that will do is if I up it, you can see he can turn corners a lot faster, right? He can turn a dime a lot faster. And if you play games like Tecmo Bowl, the older games, let me get my speed back up. If you play games like Tecmo Bowl, they have basically linear movement, right? So you can move up, down, left, right without really any type of momentum or issue, right? And then, so like, let me bump the resistance. So see, the more resistance I have, also the quicker he stops, right? But the harder it is for him to get off the ground, right? But then he starts to feel more like a regular game where it's not floaty, because there's not a lot of momentum, and there's not that gravity feeling. There's not that feeling of weight and movement, right? And there's my mascot. See him? He's just chilling, waving at the fans. Anyway, so I want to work on this. I want to get this to feel like there's more weight, but I don't, obviously I built this system, or the system was built because I want things to be more realistic, right? I want more weight and feeling of gravity and simulation if I can, because it's a sprite pixelated looking graphical game, but at the same time, you guys know me, I like simulation, so I want to make it like that. So playing around with these numbers, you can see I'm going to do this now as part of this video. That's why I'm doing it. I want to show you guys what I'm working with, and like I said, if you guys can give me some pointers, or if you can think of anything that you might want me to try, I can do that. I can do multiple videos, but you can see as I up the acceleration, he immediately starts to just turn on a dime. There's no sense of push or movement, right? He just starts to move like on a dime. Look at that dime he can move in. Whereas before, if I go back to before, it's see how it's a little bit slippery. And this could be maybe when it's raining, but you can see the difference there, right? And as I lower the acceleration, you can see he gets more like muddy, and this may be what an offensive lineman might be running like, right? Which is what I have. I have different types of player types in the game, right? So what I did is I spent some time on this, and I got different combinations of these values, and I created an athlete player, and I can make them slow, normal, or fast. And I tried to basically normalize this stuff and make it to where you have different athlete, strong type, linemen, special teams, and for each one of those, I made them either slow, medium, or slow, normal, and fast, right? So there's different types of players based on these different settings, right? So if I wanted to do like athlete fast, right? I have athlete fast set to a maximum speed of 3, and then their acceleration, I have it at 0.25, right? And then I have their resistance at 15. So this is like the fastest guy in the game right now, the way that it's set. And I did this based off of like a 40-yard dash. Like I said, okay, I'm going to run 40 yards and see how long it takes to run 40 yards. And I based it off of that exact speed, believe it or not. And I tried to get the fastest guys to be lower in the 40, right? So, but like I said, what I don't want is this, I don't know, it feels like I'm in a car. It feels like I'm moving around in a car, and I'm just trying to weave my way in and out. Whereas what I really want is like more resistance, right? And these numbers are interesting because they're basically percentages, right? If I wanted to go super low, if I wanted to go like 30% resistance, and let's call it, 70% acceleration. But even then, that doesn't work. That doesn't work the best because I can't do it that way. So I need to bump it up even higher because those values are not accurate. So let me do 30% here, and then let me go acceleration. Let me do like 60 acceleration. Right, so you can see he gets off the line really fast, and he gets to top speed really fast. If you look on the very bottom right, you see how it says negative, it says the N0 and the N1. Those two together basically make up the movement, right? So if I'm going straight down, you can see I'm at my top speed of 3. And the N is the internal forces, right? So internally, I'm pushing up to 3. And I know I'm telling you guys a lot here, but I'm just trying to get it all in as short of video as I can. But if you look, you'll see the external start to bump up. When I hit this guy, my controller starts to vibrate, and I'm getting pushback, which is what that part of it is, right? So I actually have, the ability to collide with other players and objects, and they affect my speed, right? So you have external forces and internal forces, right? Don't worry about the rest of the things here. These are the Pmax and the Pmin. That's the push. That's like for linemen, how much they can push you, and then they have like a radius for collision. But the ones that we're trying to work on here, or I'm trying to work on here, are just the running, like the speed and acceleration. If I lower the speed down, let's say like 2, that's the fastest he's going to run, right? Which that may be what a lineman runs, but you can see, and if I go in a circle right now, you can kind of see what they do. If I put it like, let's just say 2.5, and I go in a circle, the lower I drop the acceleration, the more the circle gets wider and wider, right, to the point where, and then the higher I make it, the tighter the circle gets. You see that? To where literally, if I can turn on a dime, let's see if I can even get to that point where I can turn on a dime. You see, it's getting better and better and better and better and better. And I'm at the point now where it's literally, I'm going almost my full speed in like seconds, like not even a second, right? Let me go all the way up to like 2, you can see how fast, look at that, how fast I can just turn in a circle. And right now I'm taking the joystick and I'm rotating it 360 degrees, right? But you can see that, it's more linear. Like when I move, it feels like wherever I move, the reaction time is basically 0, right? If I want to go bottom right, he immediately goes bottom right. If I want to go top left, he immediately goes top left. You see, there's no real momentum. There's no gravity. There's no feeling of physics, It's just like, there's a little bit. Doesn't feel horrible, but what I want to do, which is what this is doing, it gives the player more weight. Right? You feel like you just can't float around the screen like a race car trying to beat, other cars. And that's what I'm trying to accomplish in the game. I want more weight. But the system that I've built here is, it's limiting because it's funny how the way, I'm just looking at something here. It's limiting because I only have so many options, and too much resistance makes it the guy can't really move. Too much acceleration, he moves on a dime. So let me reset it back to what works pretty decently, but even then he's kind of slippery, right? So if I up the resistance, he gets slippery. He gets like stuck in mud, right? You either get stuck in mud like this, or you kind of like slip around like if you're on ice, which I can totally, I could totally do this for like snowy days or like icy days or rainy days. I can make the guys more slippery. You can do that. But I want to play around with this and see if I can get to some more just, I don't know, like a more balanced running game. So let me know in the comments what you think, guys. I can do more videos on this and share with you exactly what I'm trying to do, and see if we can get to some numbers that make it feel better. But I want to know what you guys think about the running. How do you think it should be? What do you think it should look like? Maybe I'll do a stream. Let me know if you want me to do a stream, and we can do a live, feedback call, and I can bump these numbers around and we can have a conversation. So, anyways, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm working on. The game's making, some nice progress. I got a lot going on right now. I'm trying to sell my house, buy a new house. There's just a whole number of things on my plate that I'm working with and I'm dealing with, and, life, as you guys know. So in between, I'll be working on this and keeping you guys posted. So until next time, Let me know what you think. Peace.